loaning to want to go on loan to pay that loan, to want to go on loan to pay that loan is not an effective way to deal with the necessities of the new year. Let's just try and balance that out. Because some individuals believe, listen, if I get a loan in January, I should be able to make payment by February. But the reality is the income coming in doesn't necessarily fit everything that's required, yeah?
Absolutely, Shéila. And the way that EasyPay have actually structured their lending products is that we actually do affordability assessments on our customers. And what this basically means is that we actually vet our customers to actually test whether or not they can actually afford the loan. So from that perspective, we actually identify the income for the customer in terms of how much they're actually getting from an income perspective and actually vet it against their expenses. So from this perspective, that is actually very responsible lending from that perspective, in the sense that we actually determine whether or not the customer can afford the loan. And the way that we've structured our loan products is that we don't expect the customer to repay within a month. We actually have spread out the loan repayments over longer periods, unlike other lenders, which really put even more strenuous conditions on our customers, where they expect the repayment within a month. So we've restructured our loan repayment periods to a longer period to ensure that our customers can actually afford the loan. Um, and they've got leftover funds to actually service other needs that they might have.
And what is the criteria, Kenosi, in terms of who is allowed to approach, for example, EasyPay? Do you have to be working? Do you have to have a minimum income? And how do you gauge who is the viable person to be giving money to when it's not reckless lending? And I ask this because sometimes you find young graduates, as they are getting into the workspace, they now find themselves a job and it's a temporary employment, and the financial institutions will give them all kinds of loans that in the long run are detrimental to them. So how do you gauge how you go about giving or granting loans to specific individuals?
So at the core value of EasyPay Financial Services is actually ensuring that we provide financial inclusion. So from this perspective, we actually drive financial inclusion by targeting a market which is traditionally not lended to at all. So this market is largely sidelined from financial services, and most of our customers believe, because the big banking brands do not necessarily like to service this market, they believe they do not qualify for this product. So our target market is actually targeted specifically at grant recipients. So these are SASSA grant recipients, so child age. So this is for the CSG market, so the child support grant market, as well as the old age grant market, disability age, the disability grant market. So we are actually targeted specifically at the grant recipients. And from this perspective, typically you would expect that these are customers that wouldn't afford a loan, or they wouldn't necessarily be interested in a lending product. But our market insights have indicated that a lot of our customers, firstly, are responsible in the sense that they actually repay us within a specific time, and they actually repay the required amount in time. So our bad rate is actually much less than what we're seeing in the market. And also on the basis that our target market is also a market that actually uses these lending products to actually improve their lives, and to actually help them improve and to get them out of a poverty cycle more than anything.
And Kenosi, let's talk about the trends that you've identified during the festive season with respect to your clients sort of seeking funding from you.
So the trends that we're seeing, we've actually been in a process of launching a new product in the market. So in terms of the structure of our products, is that previously we used to have our core product was targeted specifically at the 2,000 Rand mark. However, we launched this new product right before the festive season, and this was a 4,000 Rand loan size over an extended period of 9 months. And the response in the market has been absolutely phenomenal in terms of the feedback, that the soft feedback that we're getting from our customers. What they're indicating is that this is helping them to actually plan for stationery for their kids next year, help them save towards Christmas and spend towards their Christmas. So from that perspective, the trends that we're seeing is that there's been a massive uptake in terms of our new product that we've launched with the higher loan size. We are seeing this has actually been our best sales month. We're seeing phenomenal growth in the market. There's a massive appetite for credit, but responsible credit in this space, because when we look at obviously the fact that we're issuing high loan sizes, we keep in context the fact that, we are targeting a market that is very vulnerable. So from that perspective, we also ensure that our bad rates remain within our risk appetite and remain within responsible lending practices. So we are actually seeing a default rate of between 4 to 6%, which in an industry that we operate in is unbelievable. We're also seeing a lot of our customers actually using alternative channels instead of actually going into our physical branches to apply for loans. They are using digital channels such as USSD, where they are actually applying for loans on our USSD channel, and they can actually get the products without having to actually spend for transport costs to actually go to a branch to apply. They can do it in the comfort of their own homes, and they literally do it within 5 minutes, and the loan is processed for them from that perspective. So those are the trends that we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of our customers move towards digital channels, and we're seeing a large uptake in terms of our new product that we've launched, and we're also seeing large uptake in terms of the loan sizes, and we're seeing a very strong and a competitive book, in the sense that customers are still repaying us during this period as well.
It sounds like you understand the plight of your customers, the challenges. I mean, you're serving a market that shall we say, the bigger financial institutions do not want to serve. What happens when they miss payments? Should life happen and they're not able to make their payments in accordance to the agreement that they have with you? Does this affect their credit scores in any way? Do you make alternative arrangements with them? How does that process work?
So we do make alternative arrangements with our customers when they do miss repayments. We also send them payment reminders to actually identify and to let them know that they have missed their payments. And as I've indicated, a large majority of our customers have been excluded from financial services for the longest time. So what this means is that basically the large majority of our customers do not have a credit profile at the bureau. So this means that other credit providers are not able to provide them with credit on the basis that they do not have a credit score. So by taking up a loan with us, where we check their affordability and etc., they are able to actually build a credit profile, and they're able to use that credit profile to gain access to further credit should they need it. So from that perspective, we do take the onus is largely on us to create customer education. So what we also do is we actually educate our customers through different channels, including social media, where we explain to them the importance of having a credit profile, the importance of making sure that you repay on time, the importance of actually not just building a credit profile, but maintaining a good credit profile. So from that perspective, those are the type of mitigations that we have in place to ensure that our customers are able to actually not only repay us, but ensure that we assist them during the tough periods that they might be facing.
And what about people who are blacklisted? Could they also get a loan from you to sort of get back on track and find their feet again?
So what we do on our side is that we actually help our customers through customer education, as I've indicated, and this is also including those that are blacklisted in terms of ensuring that they understand the negative implications of being blacklisted. But we are registered with the National Credit Regulator, and we are also governed by the National Credit Act of South Africa, which clearly stipulates that we are not allowed to actually lend towards people that are blacklisted, because from this perspective, this would be a negative experience, customer experience from this perspective, because we would be lending to somebody that is largely overextended. So what we try and do is we try to educate our customers around creating and building a good credit profile. And once they've managed to mitigate the risks around themselves, around the blacklisting, and they've improved their blacklisting situation, then we'll be in a position to lend to them. But to ensure, as a responsible lender
Yeah.
within the credit background, we are not allowed to lend towards people that are blacklisted.
Let's talk about the people that qualify. I mean, you have spoken about grant recipients of all kinds. Can foreign nationals access your services?
So no, we do not lend to foreign nationals at the moment.
And I would like to ask, because it's festive season now, and we are talking about parents getting ready for January stationery, but we're still in the festive season. We're still going to spend money on food, family, friends, so on and so forth. Give us some tips on how we can better manage our finances so that we are not reaching too far deep into our pockets come January, when we have to take care of the stationery and also get through that month.
So the first step towards improved financial health is ensuring that you have a budget in place. So even though it's the festive season and we are all excited to be spending time with family and friends, the important thing is that we build a budget and we stick to that budget and we work towards building that budget. So for instance, you can use the EasyPay loan to actually budget towards bigger items. As I said, we've got a 4,000 Rand loan, and in terms of that loan, the customer can actually use that loan towards a bigger item, such as paying for school fees or registration fees next year, and then use the rest of the funds towards the smaller items. So the important thing is to build a budget, stick to that budget, as well as ensuring that you stretch your cents as much as you possibly can. We have some really amazing tools that can help us stretch our funds over the festive period, and obviously ensuring that you get the best value for money. So making sure that you purchase at the right type of stores that really substitute and provide good value for our customers. So that's the advice that I would give. I'm not a phase accredited, but those are the type of advices that I would give around actually stretching your rands over the festive period.
And Kenosi, let's talk about your other product ranges that EasyPay offers.
Yes. So as I said in my opening statements, is that EasyPay does not necessarily just provide lending to our customers.
Yeah.
We also provide solutions to our customers across the board that have been largely isolated from financial services. So we also offer a funeral plan to our customer base, which is largely targeted towards grant recipients. So at the core of our value proposition is our customer base of grant recipients. So essentially what a customer has to have in order to qualify for a loan is to take up our transactional account. So we have a transactional account that functions as any other product in the market from a transactional perspective. So it comes with a black card associated with it. With that black card, a customer can gain access to purchasing value-added services, so airtime, data, DSTV on USSD, as well as the full transactional capability. So being able to withdraw funds from the card at different ATMs, not just EasyPay ATMs, cashback at POS. So we have a large product set that a customer can use. So basically, we've got a transactional account to summarize. We also have a funeral plan, and we also have lending products that I've touched on.
And I would love to know, for the entrepreneurs, perhaps they could look at this lending opportunity to maybe start a business during this festive season, if not January?
In terms of our lending proposition, we do not prescribe to the customer what they can use the funds for, right? So what we've seen from customers, what our market research and what customers have told us they typically use it for is for school fees, for medical, unexpected medical bills, but most certainly they can start a small business. I've seen people literally using these funds towards, some of the most heart-wrenching stories that you can tell. So they can also use these funds for anything that they want to use it towards, obviously ensuring that it's in line with, the laws of the country. But we do not prescribe how the customers should use these funds. And it would be very exciting to actually see our customers start small businesses through this. But I mean, I think some of the most touching stories that I've heard from our customers was where one of our customers indicated that at a very short period of time, their child fell sick, and after the child falling sick, they didn't have any funds to actually pay for the medical bills, and then the child unfortunately passed on, and they didn't have any funds to actually pay towards the funeral costs. So they actually used our lending product to actually pay towards the funeral costs for their child. So this is the type of stories when you wake up in the morning, you go to work. It gives you a whole new sense of belonging and meaning.
Kenosi, that is a touching story, and I am glad that service providers such as EasyPay everywhere are advanced enough to assist people in such situations. Also, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This was fruitful, and I do know that there was an ear or two listening that will benefit from this conversation.
It was a pleasure being on the show.
That is the voice of Head of Credit Lending at EasyPay Everywhere Banking Services, Kenosi Rakosa, joining us this evening. 8 minutes before 10 p.m. Central African Time. If you have just joined us and you were having some jitters about January, also known as January, but most people January, because we are worried about a lot of things, including stationery, the list and it is 6 pages long. They tell you all kinds of colors that you must have and you must buy for the child, and a sharpener that sharpens this big pencil and the small pencil and the medium-sized pencil. It's a lot.
I tell you what, it's very exciting when you're a child, when you're a kid.
Yes.
And you get that stationery.
Ooh, the pack from school. The one that says, listen, I bought this at the school. I did not.
Let me tell you.
Go to your local convenience store, okay? No. My parents bought them at school.
At Waltons, whatever.
At Waltons.
My thing was seeing that stationery.
Yeah.
My thing is, I wanted to use every single thing. I wanted to use the colors. I wanted to use the pens. I wanted to use for no reason.
Listen, remember the protractor?
The protractor.
Everything.
The
triangle.
Compass,
yes.
The what.
Elkadung.
Every single thing.
Why? There was no reason. Can I tell you that if I were to be very honest, I didn't use 40% of that stationery throughout the year. I didn't touch them.
I just don't remember that far.
Like the crayon things.
I think we used them at some point.
No.
We had the coloring books, and so we had to, projects.
I bought them in high school.
In high school?
Yes, because there was supposed art.
Wow. You had an arts and culture class subject?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, that makes sense then why you would have
But I never used it.
Because the school provided?
No, we just never did it.
You never did any arts and culture?
Not that kind of art.
That required coloring?
Yes, with those clay pastel
things. So
things.
why did they prescribe it then?
I have no idea. It's a recommended.
Recommended.
I see how they get away with a lot of murder.
That's why.
It's a recommended list.
And parents everywhere will buy that entire list.
Yes.
As recommended as it is,
yes.
They'll buy the entire
6
list.
Erasers for pencils. That time you use one the entire year.
Just tracking back on the conversation that we just had with Kenosi, and she spoke about how one of their customers' child passed away, and they were not able to afford the funeral, and so they had to get a loan from this
I think provider. It was the medical that they weren't able to afford.
Was it the medical?
Medical bills were piling up, and therefore That's what I heard.
And then the child
Passes,
on, and
yes.
they also transcended on to the funeral costs. They were not able to cover
Yes.
that, and so they had to use the financial products that they had at the service provider. I'm thinking of a story. Do you know Morgan Freeman,
How?
the actor?
The man that never dies.
Morgan Freeman, the man who's never been young ever.
He's
in his
never-
life.
he's
as
been
long as I've been
old
alive. He's been
For the longest of
He's been
time.
the same.
And he stays the same age.
Absolutely.
If he's 89, he's been 89 for like 79 years.
They Photoshop his face as it is right now when he was a baby. It's like he's never changed ever since he was a baby.
Oh my
Exactly the
days.
same.
But yes.
Interesting story.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman wears 2 earrings,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And he said they're very expensive earrings.
Okay.
He says that he wears these expensive earrings is so that should he by chance pass away in some strange foreign land, they can take those earrings and pay for the entire funeral. It can cover the costs of the funeral.
Whoa. What if somebody just pockets them? Says, well,
That's also my thing. It's like, how do you trust people?
like those look nice.
I mean,
I'm gonna give my partner something.
It's a nice plan. It's a nice idea to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the idea behind it. It's like I always wear these expensive earrings so that should something happen to me in a foreign land and they're not able to cover my costs, let it not be a burden on anyone. Just take the earrings, exchange them for cash, and then pay for the funeral.
What if that land doesn't like? My thing is also the value add, right? Do you think every single place that you visit will accept those earrings for money? Like, what if they're like, we don't want those earrings?
Maybe it's very like it's made of some special precious metal, material or metal or something like that. Maybe
Yeah.
it's one of those precious gemstones that wherever you go around the world, it will serve as value and people will give you cash for it.
Sheesh. Well, Mr. Morgan Freeman, just now we're saying, hey, he never ages. And then he's listening and he's like, those people. Anyway, that is a stellar plan. I just think that have trustworthy people around you.
Absolutely.
That's what's
Yeah, yeah,
important.
yeah.
4 minutes to, or rather 3 minutes to 10 p.m. Central African time. If you have just joined us, good evening. How are you doing? Hopefully you are keeping well. Tell us all about it. +27 6340 9126. So on the other side of some music, we're going to be getting into the best of our progressive African chats. Now, remember that conversation around Miss Universe Nigeria? You know?
Chidima.
Yes.
Yes.
The man behind that particular pageantry establishment is the man we had an opportunity to speak to.
In Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay.
Do not go anywhere.
Get the news, music, and lifestyle of Africa on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
I